Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a weekly news and review for October 15th, 2023. 2023. We got a lot of stuff to run through with the Transformers, with the cons, and all that kind of stuff. So we did get the final poll outcome. I don't feel it's worth a video, but I will give you my thoughts on this. And of course, I will do a whole video once we get all the details. Lots of pictures from the New York Comic Con. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about some of the different toy lines and different companies that we see there. A little bit of a Ramen Toy update. There's some stuff going on, some new stuff, update on old stuff or older projects they've been working on already. And yeah, there's a top, middle, and bottom to all the projects. Some G.I. Joe stuff, whether it's an announcements or now we can order some stuff that we're talking about. But we got a few things to talk about for G.I. Joe. I did enough G.I. Joe talking yesterday, right? And then the easy part, Star Wars, because there's not much, but we will talk about it. Coming up. Alright, starting off with what's new at Show Z, and we have the New Age H53G Michael Omega Supreme Gold Limited Edition. This is, I think, limited to 100. And really hard to get. I don't know how many they got their hands on. It shows sold out, but arrival notice, meaning that once they fill all the orders that were pre-ordered in like 2 days of pre-ordering, then they're going to fill those and then have it to sell with whatever's left. It's $480, and it's not cheap. It is what it is. It's expensive because there's so few out there, and it was expensive for them to acquire. But if you really want this, this is an avenue to get it. Next, we have the 01 Studio 01SO1E Overmind Unicron Black version. This is a repaint of their, Zeta 01 Studio. This is a cool-looking repaint. I don't know the price. It's $2 down. If you're interested in it, lock in your $2 down. If you don't like the price when they call for it, then I guess you can just cancel and get your $2 back in credit. But I think that this is an interesting option and a way to get it. They keep putting it back out, this mold back out. A lot of fun. And also coming into stock is the FT48X. Now, I didn't jump on this one. I should have. The one on the left here is the new repaint, kind of a toy repaint. And it looks good. I think I'm going to bite on it if I can get to it in time. It's one of those things that you have to just keep checking it when it is available to order again. And they know exactly how many they have left that they can sell, then it'll be up for sale. And I don't even know the price just yet. But that's kind of how this goes. That's how you have to jump on this when you can to get the best price. Alright, so X-Transbots is showing off a picture of their Runamuck, Runabout, one of those two. So pretty cool. A lot of people are looking forward to this and excited for this. And I really hope that it turns out pretty good. It'll be a pretty good figure overall. No, that is not Fuzz down there because Fuzz, well, first of all, it doesn't look like Fuzz, but it's would not fit proportionally. It doesn't really match. That's way smaller than Fuzz. So we're not sure exactly what this one's going to look like in its alt mode. We've seen pictures, but not the actual test shot like this. This looks pretty good. I think they're doing a good job with this guy. And we have the Remaster EX MTRP EX07 Slip Swarm from Make Toys, Maki Toys. And it's a deeper purple version of their Seeker. And it looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. It is a TFCon Orlando 2023 exclusive. And you'll need to... you can either go to the TFCon to get it. There's some online sites will have this for sale also, if you want to pick it up and save, a few grand from trying to travel out there and go to the con. But it still looks pretty cool, and it's interesting that they're still offering it. And I'm glad they're still around. Fans Hobby is showing off their TFCon Orlando exclusive, the MB23B Marksman. So this is going to be presented by Chosen Prime. Anyhow, this is another exclusive. They're gearing up for the next TFCon, and looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Pretty exciting. I'm interested in the third-party panels at all of these, so that's my biggest anticipation out of one of these cons. And we've seen this before, but now it's up for pre-order pretty much everywhere, I'm guessing. $170, NPM 11D Ratchet with the green color scheme, the Dark of the Moon color scheme. It's a lighter green, white and yellow lettering, and yes, $170 US retail. Due out May of 2024. If this interests you, then go pre-order it. Metagate's got some color update prototypes of their G05 Red Fantasy. This is their Shatter Triple Changer. This one is the one that we have yet to see an actual triple changer of this figure. They either transform or convert from the robot to a car or a robot to a jet. And this does all three, which is what makes it so desirable. Here's car mode. And I also think that the fact that it's triple changer and it is a feat never done before by any other company to make this character, bring it to life, that is why it's taken so long. But it does look like they're doing a pretty good job overall. And I think that all modes look good. Probably the car mode is the weakest. That's what I think. The jet mode looks pretty good. All of them have a little bit of extra kibbliness to them. They're not super 100% clean in all of them. But I think car mode's the weakest, then this mode, and then the bot mode pretty much looks like the on-screen counterpart. I think they did a really good job, and they're making a name for themselves. This is definitely going to be the figure to make the name for themselves for Metagate. Okay, we've seen a lot of cons, a lot of conventions, New York Toy Show, and now we're New York Comic Con. I don't want to show all the same pictures again. Like, oh, it's set up exactly the same as the last con or very similar. I just want to show this is something different I haven't seen from this angle and seen all this. But the gold, Optimus Prime, from Robosen, it's a little bit different of a picture. We've seen everything else from Robosen already, but I thought it would be kind of cool to check this gold one out. And there it is. Again, I'm already starting to forget. Is this like one of those lucky draw kind of things, or is it just super duper expensive? Anyhow, I know it's going to be hard to get. They're not making very many. It's going to be really expensive. All right, now Super 7 is making this. Well, this is actually going to be a clear Cyborg Red Optimus Prime revealed. This is those bigger ones, 11-inch tall. It shows the inner workings. I think they're like real expensive. I actually don't even remember the price on these. I don't even consider buying them. Other people have said, why bother? And let me just put this out there. Why bother making this when most collectors don't want this? There's a market. These are selling. They wouldn't keep making it if they didn't sell. There's a market for this particular product for whoever, and it sells to them, so they're going to keep making it. It's not really something I feel I need for a Masterpiece collection or a mainline collection. This is a whole different ball game for somebody else, and I'm glad that they're happy they're getting it, and this one's clear. There is an update to the XM Studios G1 Prowl 110 statue. We saw it before. I didn't have all of the information. I guess we've got more. It's going to be 149 units made. It's going to be priced at $1,599 Singapore dollars, which is 1,167 approximate US dollars. So 1167. And it looks pretty good. It does look pretty good. It's going to have storytelling elements meant to evoke nostalgic memories within the minds of collectors. Each highly detailed statue collectible is painstakingly crafted and expertly hand-painted with XM's famous quality finish for nearly $1,200. Still, it looks amazing. I think it looks fantastic. And then you look down at the car mode that comes with it. I think it's really cool that you get that also. Alright, we got some Legends scale stuff, and we're going to start with the New Age H54 Hammond. This is their take on a wheeled jack. Now, I did tell you last week about this, and I pre-ordered it from Shozi, sight unseen. I'm still going to stick with my pre-order. I do think it's a little different than I expected. I have the Toy World version, and it'll be kind of fun to compare them. That's where I stand on it. I do think that there are some things that look good about this. They always paint their figures very well. But there's some design cues that maybe aren't my favorite on this. So when I get it in hand, I do a review. I'll let you know exactly how I feel about it. But I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's the best. And I really feel like Magic Square, if they put theirs out anytime soon, it will look a lot more G1 tuned than this thing does. But the alt mode looks really spot on. I'm not really trying to collect a bot mode and alt mode for the Legends, though. But yeah, there it is in the alt mode. Looks fantastic. And the original G1 bot mode, or alt mode looks fantastic also. Alright, so we also have New Age with their H57 Freyer. their Legend Scale Swoop. Now, this one is a toy-based color variant, and I think it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. It's going to be interesting to see, because I think Swoop that DX9 did, and then McFan's Toys K oversized them, I think that one was a really good one. It's going to be hard to beat it, but I do have the original one coming in to do a comparison, but it kind of makes more sense. I probably should go with the toy version of this, but it looks amazing. I might get multiple different versions, because Swoop is one of my favorite characters. He's my favorite Dinobot out of all of them. Not that the character is all that great, it's just the design of the figure is what got me back in the day, and I still love it. This one is the G2 unreleased Swoop. This kind of stuff is really cool. I really wish Hasbro would kind of dig into this stuff and do this kind of stuff. Maybe we will get that when they put the Swoop out in the Studio Series, but New Age really does these recolors. They look fantastic. I guess we got to throw in obligatory alt mode for at least one of these, and that's how it looks. Swoop's an easy figure to make. I mean, I don't really know how you can mess up a Swoop, and yeah, it looks good. It's really one of my favorites, partially because it's so easy, and partially because it looks good in both modes, no matter which one you buy from which company. Alright, so here's the MPH Studio Prime, and that's what it looks like next to, I'm guessing the right is Magic Squares 2.0, left is the New Age David, and of course the middle is this MPH. And it's a small one, but not as small as I thought, so it's really not too far off Legends. I was thinking way far off Legends, but here's a more real world comparison if you're into real world type of comparisons. There it is next to a cat, and yeah, that's a real world comparison. Not that all cats are the same size or anything, and some are fat and skinny, and some, like Dr. Evil's, have no hair on them. Alright, I want to start off some mainline Hasbro stuff here with this. This is a Ross that I was at, and I got to line up all these. It was kind of fun to line up all of the Transformers that they had for $8. And can you spot the gem, the hidden gem? My son was excited when he found it. But this is kind of fun, chasing down some of these figures. If you haven't been collecting all along and you go, okay, well, this is the best version of Cup, in my opinion, Hasbro's ever made. It's also the best version of Cliff Jumper, which we found a Cliff Jumper and another Ross. We hit up like 5 or 6 Ross, and we found quite a few. So my son is really excited, really happy, building this Transformer collection on the cheap, which is fantastic. Check your Rosses. But the funny thing is that when I go revisit a Ross and I left stuff behind, it's almost always gone. The stuff is selling fast. There is a huge demand for it. It's not that nobody wants this. It's just the fact that it had bad distribution for most of these. Alright, so we happen to have a little Walmart Collector Con. And when I say a little Walmart Collector Con, it was not much at all going on. They just had orders for the Retro Perceptor. They had orders for the Blaster and Steeljaw and for Soundwave. So with this, the Perceptor's 35, Blaster's 45, and Soundwave's 45. And I didn't order any of this stuff. In my mind, I've already picked up a lot of this stuff in the past. I got a Soundwave and I got a Blaster. Now this is supposed to be more cartoon accurate and more movie like the movie, and I understand all that, but I just don't like rebuying the same stuff over and over and over. But I do like the packaging for the most part on Blaster and Soundwave a lot better than what they were doing with the movie packaging. Anyhow, I plan on catching this stuff on clearance or not catch it at all. Now, jumping into Studio Series Leader Bumblebee movie Megatron possible first look here. If you're interested and excited about this, then you might be wanting to look forward to when they actually reveal it. I don't know where these prototypes come from. Some people are trying to say that they're leaks on purpose, intentional leaks, and just trying to get a buzz out there. That could be the truth. I'm not sure. But anyhow, that's a possible movie Megatron. Right, so we got hot new pre-orders with Masterpiece Rhinox, Nemesis Pack, Ghost of Starscream, international listings and stuff like that. But I'm excited about a few of these. And starting from the left, I'm just going to tell you a little something about these. Move through this pretty quick. They call this the bridge playset. It's the Nemesis bridge playset dramatic capture scene. This turns out it's $110 at Entertainment Earth or BBTS. I think it's $120 at TF Source. So that's not out of the realms of reality, because when you think about that, each figure is probably at the $35 price point if you're just getting them. So that's putting you around the $105 price point, something like that. Wait, 50, 70, yeah, 105. So it's a $10 premium to get the throne, $10 for a throne. So that's kind of pricing exactly where it is. But these are all the, in my opinion, the best painted versions. So I did pre-order one of those sets, even though I have pretty much all this stuff already. Our next price is $220 in the U.S. area if you're pre-ordering it. Still don't have the Show Z price yet. We'll be curious, but now I'm starting to get a little sad because Show Z usually doesn't price the official stuff a whole lot lower than the U.S. prices, just because that's what they got to pay for it. They don't get it a whole lot cheaper, I guess. And then, of course, we have the Ghost of Starscream 2-pack with the Waspinator. And you can order it all the places, all the typical places, like the BBTSs, or the Entertainment Earth, Robot Kingdom, Chosen Prime, TF Source, ages 3 and up, for about $70. Alright, quick update on Ramen Toy. They're working on this minivan, or van. I don't know if it's quite mini, but it's a van. It is pretty cool. I'm sure you could put like a red stripe on it or something to kind of like spice it up. They might even include the decal for you. And I think it looks spot on. You're just making vehicles from the 80s that we all love. Great vehicles. It does have a top, middle, and a bottom. And so with that, it's an actual vehicle. It's going to get the job done. Should be 1/12 scale, because that's kind of the world that they're living in, the scale that they're living in. I look forward to it. I don't have all the information. The little information I have right now says targeting a $150 price point, and I don't want to overstate much more of that because I don't know about shipping and all of that. But I really look forward to starting to see models of this. And then speaking of models of this, here's Ace smiling with some Silverhawks shirt on, and showing you that this is kind of the sidewall of the Musk. I must show you an update on the Musk. And there it is. Now this is a, I believe, 3D printed prototype. This is still a very early prototype of this. And it's, the term modular being used is you can set this up however you want and plug pieces and pipes in and stuff however you'd like. This, I like this a lot better. This is the offering right here. And so it's a lot easier to see it in one shot. Size-wise, this is the Ramen Racer on top of it. And I like that. I like seeing, you can see size-wise. This is a big playset, a good-sized playset. So is the Ramen Racer. And it is a good-sized playset. Now let's look a little more at this Ramen Racer, said Ramen Racer. Here's the inside of it. It's got light features. It's very realistic coloring and realistic interior. This almost looks like you're looking at a real car, aside from the giant screws that would be in the door, but that's kind of just part of it. Looks really cool. Just amazing. I will be honest, I'm not in on it. I can sit in awe of this, but I can't buy absolutely everything in the world, so this one I'm going to sit out, even though that tiger orange one is really pulling me. Here's the engine picture that they have going on. I really haven't kept 100% up to date with this, but if I see a cool looking picture, I'm going to pass it on. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm on a mask kick. I'm kind of, what I'm doing personally is just trying to clean up some missing pieces in my mask collection as we move into this era of the Ramen Toy Machina Labs, and to get the Great White in there and all of that. And I've just started to see what left do I need in my vintage to move on to this era. And I love this. I'm so excited. This is one of the best ones. I pre-ordered 2 already. I'm going to probably get a 3rd because I like it that much. Because I want to be able to open one and do everything with it and not really worry about breaking it or anything. I haven't had any issues with the first one at all whatsoever. And I don't anticipate issues with this. But this is very complex. This is something Kenner couldn't pull off. So I'm highly impressed and very excited. This week there's like G.I. Joe news coming from a lot of different directions. So it's not really... I just don't understand why this is the week of G.I. Joe. Maybe it was planned to hit this week. I don't know. But some of it sounds like it's just slipping out, too. So we've got Alpine confirmed for the classified line, which is not a shocker at all, because kind of Bazooka and Alpine go hand in hand, right? Is that... Am I the only one that thinks that? I kind of feel... I'm surprised they weren't in the same wave. But then again, not really. They don't really pair them up. Tomax and Zaymot needed to be in the same wave, but these guys didn't need to be in the same wave. But I knew he was coming. So let's just say that. Then we got some pictures of sort of deeper renders, what's going on with Hawk. And I gotta say, they haven't done a great job with the sculpt on some of the other figures. And so seeing this picture pop up, and I'm not sure who Paul Harding Studios is. Is this the designer who's designing it? I'm not sure. But this was the picture of their Hawk, I guess, going for... It looks fantastic. Like, this looks way better than the original early renders that we saw. So this is fantastic. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, well, I did talk about this mothership, and it's $500. It comes with everything right here. And go watch the video to find about the tiers. I don't think we're going to unlock any of the tiers. I'm not sure if it's going to fund. I mean, my question yesterday was, will it fund? And we're on now the third day and barely 300 orders probably by the time you watch this. And part of that could also be that they're given 2 months, 60 days, but there's just not the excitement there. You know, there used to be the excitement, and there's no excitement for this, or very little excitement. And also, you know, the tapped out collector and all the big projects, and it's expensive, and this is iconic, but yet not iconic. But it's very niche. And it's one of those things, I don't see any other company ever making this. So that's something I kind of left out of the other video. But I'll have a lot more videos coming on this in the next 60 days, right? Alright, Walmart Collector Con. We have the Cobra Shadow Tracker. We have the Night Force Tunnel Rat and the Night Force Wolf Spider Varma. And I don't know, maybe I'm just falling out of love with all of these just variant repaints, but I didn't order any of them. I actually have a couple in my cart, and I didn't even place the order, and I don't know. It's just you start looking at the price. Like, to get these three, you're pushing almost $100, even if they cover the shipping for you. So it's frustrating with the expense of these, and there's just no meaning to me there. I do want a tunnel rat, a standard tunnel rat. I mean, there's one at my GameStop right now, and I might go pick that one up. I've got it pre-ordered somewhere, I'm sure. But with this, I don't know. I don't know about these, and I think they're all still in stock, so I think the rest of the community doesn't really know about these either. So I've been silent on this one. I haven't talked about this one yet. This is the Origins Eternia Choice winner, Snake Lair. And this one, I had said if they put it out, I would probably back it. I don't know. It depends on the price, and it depends on what it really looks like when it's done. But I did not vote for this. I voted for the Attack Track, and I felt like just voting for Attack Track would help the chances for Attack Track, but I was wrong. So now this is coming out. I don't see much excitement from the community on this, although they allegedly voted for it. I bet you there's some people that really wanted this that found ways to vote multiple times. I didn't care enough to vote multiple times. I didn't care enough to pick a second choice. I wanted the Attack Track, and I'm not going to get it. Possibly next year or down the road or something along those lines. But coming off an amazing Snake Mountain for $80, and then having to pony up whatever crazy nonsense price it's going to be. $300, $400, $500. I mean, if it's like $250, it's an easy yes. If it's $400, you got to stop and think about it for a bit. So that's my problem with it. When they actually come out with the offering, I'll have more concrete information. Alright, so now we're into the New York Comic Con segment of this, and I want to say that I'm just going to roll through these pictures, and then we're going to wrap it up with the two things of Star Wars that we got going on. Giant Man is being shown, and I think it looks cool. It's great. I have no tie to it. I'm not a Marvel guy. I'm in on these 97 X-Men as I find them at retail. But this is cool. But will it fund? There's like 5,800 out of... They need 10,000. It's not looking great. It doesn't look impossible. It'll probably barely squeak by. I can't imagine that they'd get to like 9,000 and it wouldn't go over the hump. The price is right. The tiers are nothing really, just some extra faces. People want to get an extra figure thrown in or something. So it's kind of one of those things. Is it priced too low with too little to be considered a HasLab? I think that if it should stand on its own merit, but this is not a troop builder either. So there's a lot of things stacked against it. And I really have absolutely no exact order for these, so we're just going to run through them. This is NECA, and I got to say they got their Flash Gordon, which is sort of similar to what they did with their Defenders of the Earth. Looks like they might be reusing some of the parts, but some of these parts, the arms and legs and torsos and heads, are different. And that's pretty cool. Now that guy there that is got the wings, I was looking into the vintage line just for fun and not to spend. He's one of the most expensive figures in there. It's like a $150 figure for the vintage one. And I might pick him up just for fun, just to have him. But what I really, really like the most about this is the Dungeons and Dragons, and I actually found Strongheart in the wild, and in the specialty shops already have both Strongheart and Zarak, and really exciting. I do want to say that we've got Elkhorn here looking good. This is a nice looking Elkhorn. They are probably pretty close to getting this guy out, and then what? I'd like to see a reveal for another one. I really hope this is popular enough to keep going. One of my comic shop guys says NECA is not doing as well financially right now, and that might slow this line down. He does buy from NECA and he supports NECA, but he says that he's concerned. He's concerned about some of these lines not getting fleshed out all the way. But it doesn't slow Turtles down. Turtles is probably their bread and butter right now, and they continue into it. But what I'm seeing with Turtles is that the Turtles sell, everything else sells way less. So we're talking fractionally, like a third, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing at retail and what I'm hearing from other collectors. But this stuff looks amazing. I love every single release they put out. I just have no personal tie to every release. And with that, I'm not keeping up with this line much anymore unless it really draws me in. But it looks pretty good. All this stuff looks really good. I probably will pick these guys up. And again, these Turtles sell. This is really cool. It's like, oh man, these are cool. It's probably going to be stupid expensive, like $150 for a set of 4. But they look really cool. And their sewer looks cool. It's expensive. But Turtles sell. Does the rest of the stuff sell? Then they get into this. I've yet to see any of these in the wild or even see them in person. But the dinosaurs look cool. It's fun. This is one of those lines where they could bang out maybe 8 or 10 figures and call it a whole line. And it would be worth it to just pick up all of them, because it'd be a fun little display there. I actually went and tracked down some of the vintage ones for real cheap. Got them real cheap, like $10 each or something. And so that was kind of fun. Here's Gargoyles, and it's NECA's got me collecting a line I don't even really have any tie to at all, just because they look that good. And I feel like they're a really good value. Yeah, they have the cape issues and all that. I actually found the female, I don't even really know her name, in the wild. I bought her, so that was exciting. That was fun. And the guy, the Xanatos, I haven't found him yet in the wild. We find them at Target. I think they're like 35 or 37, something on that lines. And then you use a red card, get 5% off and that kind of stuff. So not as expensive as ordering them online or pre-order, but still, even pre-order them online, there's good value because they're such big figures, and then the human characters getting you some extra folded wings to go with them. Here's some Ronin versions of the Turtles. Now this is like ultra obscure in my opinion, and this is not for everyone, but they seem to be selling well enough. And then we get into some Super 7 stuff over here, so some reactions. So what is your reaction to all of this? And I just threw this shot in here. I don't really know much of anything about any of these. And that's kind of the good thing about reaction, but also the bad. They're going deep on some areas and some franchises that just don't ever get anything made. So I'm happy for those people getting the stuff that they want and have been wanting. But it doesn't have the broad appeal, then it doesn't sell as well as, say, like G.I. Joe or something along those lines. Or even ThunderCats. So this is a fun picture here, just kind of seeing what they all have coming. And we've seen this before. This was already set up. So I was just going to show the one shot. And I'm excited for all the figures that are on the way next. And I'm also excited for the figures that I've pre-ordered and have been waiting on. Now, this is fun, too, to get to see all of these. Now, we didn't see much of this from pictures from other events, but Toy Art got a good picture of all of the new figures coming out, like Mumbo Jumbo, and all of those, all the bad guys, and then of course Stargazer, and fun to see this stuff moving along, and I'm excited for this. I really like the Silverhawks, and they're not a huge toy line, like 19 figures, and it shouldn't take that long to get them all knocked out, which, I mean, it's taken a while. Now for the Vac Metal, I've pre-ordered 3 of each of them because I'm really excited about it. Am I mad that I had to buy the Primer Hawks first? No, because they're on my shelf right now. I'm enjoying them. They look great. And these, I might not even open them. I'm going to have 3 of them and not even open them. I don't know, because I'm really scared of messing up that chrome. But it looks really nice. And here we go with Turtles Collection number 8. Super 7 and their Ultimates. I'm not in on any of their Ultimates. I did get their Scratch because I don't see it coming from anyone else. But funny that I bought the Scratch for $55, then I saw someone selling one for $30, and I passed on it because I was like, already paid, the $55 for mine. But I probably should pick the spare one up for $30. I don't know. I really don't know who's in on what and why they collect what. People want the toy for this, but it seems like they're getting away from the toy, and so that's a problem. They're working on their Conan the Barbarian. We saw this already. This is just a different setup with the same figures we saw at the last event, but I like that you can see it all in one shot and see what's coming. And since I haven't bought any of these yet, I pre-ordered this whole wave to see kind of how it goes. More turtle stuff for the reaction. When I talk to my turtle friends that collect like turtles heavy, I'm kind of a casual turtle collector, but the heavy turtle collectors say they're not interested in this at all. I don't know any of my turtle collecting friends that bought any of this. And I asked them why not, and they said, with NECA or even the Ultimates of Super 7, why would you buy this? Now, I'm sure you buy this so it fits in with your 3.75 inch figures, and maybe you always wanted a 3.75 inch shredder. I can see a reason to buy this if you wanted to, but the deep, hardcore collectors didn't seem to like this at all. Lastly, I do want to kind of show this. Toy Art shows these pictures that are sort of close-ups of a whole lot of different things, and it's fun to see it, and instead of having to just edit in with 12, 15 photos, we can just check it all out right here. But it's kind of exciting, it's kind of fun to see these events, and they'd be a lot more fun in person, I'm sure. Alright, so there's not much Star Wars news, so I can actually talk just a little bit about what's going on with Star Wars here. The Ahsoka show it ended. It is a decent show. I enjoyed aspects of it. I didn't enjoy all of it, but I enjoyed aspects of it. I can watch pretty much any of these Star Wars and find something in it, because there's some throwbacks to the original trilogy. I feel like there's too much trying to throw back to original trilogy that sort of holds back some of this stuff. But anyway, it was okay. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, and I'll continue to watch it. My wife, we watched it, but I don't think she thought it was the greatest ever. But anyhow, with that, this is up for pre-order, or these are up for pre-order right now. The new vintage collection wave arriving in the US, so these should be hitting the shores soon if you're excited for these. There's some really cool stuff in here anyway. The Revan and the Chopper and all that. Now, this is something from, which site is this? Bantha School. And they say that they believe this gunship would make a great vintage collection vehicle. And I think that they're grabbing for some straws that aren't going to be there. But it's kind of interesting, because I used to do this back when I collected in the 90s, and I would watch the original trilogy all the time and be looking for something in the background. Could they make that? Would they make that? And sometimes they did, and sometimes they didn't. And something like this, I just think we're in the era where you might as well just chalk it up to those smaller vehicles as being the only ones that get made. And what I mean the smaller vehicles, that whole other line that they got going on. But one comment this past week about Star Wars really hit me, and I was like, you know what, this is right. You are absolutely right. And I think that it's 1984 all over again, and Star Wars collectors are just kind of over it. Unless you're new to it and you just started collecting maybe in the last year or 2 or 3, that you're still a little excited about it. But if you've been collecting it since the 90s, you're probably just well over Star Wars and just getting tired of it. Star Wars fatigue is real, and the way Star Wars was successful in the past was you got a 2-year break between movies with nothing going on really, and then we had that 10-year dead era that when it reunited in 1995 when it came back, everyone was excited for it again. There hasn't been a break. We don't get a break as Star Wars collectors, and so we don't yearn for much because we're just getting an onslaught of crap we don't want. That's the way I feel. So, let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review and what else is going on out there that I missed. I actually passed over some stories I'm going to roll to next week because there's still so much going on this week, and I can probably squeeze it in better next week. Anyway, like, subscribe, Try to hear Manger out.